On July 8, 1998, French customs officers stopped a teen car at the Belgian border. Inside were 234 vials of EPO and growth hormone. The soigneur driving was Willy Voet. What the vials meant for the tour about to start remained unclear. Voet worked for the Festina team. The squad was one of the strongest in the 1998 Tour de France. No urine test for EPO existed at the time. Officials used only a hematocrit limit that could not prove doping. The contents of the car were logged and sent for analysis. Voet was detained. Festina management offered no immediate statement. The next day the tour began as scheduled in Dublin. Police moved on the Festina hotel rooms inside France. Riders found their belongings searched. Team vehicles were seized. No public explanation was given for the sudden operation. The UCI relied on the 50% hematocrit rule as its only health check. Riders could sit just below that threshold and still race. The limit offered no proof of artificial blood boosting. Festina was expelled from the tour on July 17. The decision came after further raids. The remaining teams continued without them. Several riders refused to race and staged sit-down protests. In custody, some Festina riders began to speak. Their statements described systematic use of EPO and other substances. The accounts matched the substances found in Voet's car. Voet later wrote a book detailing the team's program. He named the products and the schedule. The book appeared after the 2000 trial in Lille. A 2013 French Senate report retested stored 1998 samples. EPO was detected across multiple teams. At the time of the race, no test could have caught it. The border stop had exposed what daily testing could not. Yet the precise scale inside the peloton stayed out of reach. How many other teams operated the same way was never recorded. Willy Voet crossed the Belgian border on July 8. Customs officers opened the Festina team car. They found 234 vials of EPO alongside growth hormone and syringes. Voet offered no immediate explanation for the load. The next page of his logbook was never recovered. The vials carried labels from licensed pharmacies. No one recorded who had signed the original orders. Voet remained silent on the chain of supply. Investigators later noted the invoices stopped at a single clinic address. That address yielded no further files. Festina maintained a formal medical program for years. Riders received daily hematocrit checks at the 50% threshold. The threshold measured only risk, not provenance. No document showed how the team tracked each rider's exact dosage schedule. Those internal logs disappeared after the first raid. Police searched the Festina hotel the following morning. They recovered additional boxes of the same products. Team personnel claimed the substances belonged to an unnamed staff member. The staff member was never identified in the official statements. The hotel register listed only the riders present. Other teams continued racing while Festina answered questions. No simultaneous searches occurred at their hotels. The border discovery remained isolated to one vehicle. Riders from remaining squads later stated they noticed nothing unusual. Their statements left no further trace in the early reports. Voet's notebook listed dates and rider initials. Several initials matched confirmed Festina roster members. The notebook contained no totals or delivery sources. Investigators could not determine whether the entries covered one season or several. The final pages were absent. The team's soigneur role gave Voet direct access to riders each morning. He prepared injections inside the team bus. No external observer recorded the routine. Bus logs from that week listed only mechanical checks. The medical supplies appeared on no transport manifest. French authorities expanded the inquiry after the initial seizure. They requested blood samples from every Festina rider. The samples were stored without an EPO assay available. Later retesting would reveal the limitation of contemporary methods. At the time the results remained inconclusive. The precise network behind the supply stayed undocumented. Voet alone faced the first charges. No other staff member claimed responsibility for the orders. The Festina budget line for medical expenses showed only generic entries. Those entries offered no further names or dates. Raids began on team hotels across France. Officers seized additional medical supplies from Festina rooms. Riders watched equipment bags emptied under supervision. No records explained the sudden volume of materials. Why did the team maintain such stocks during a race already under watch? Festina received expulsion orders on July 17. The decision removed the entire squad from the tour. Remaining teams faced immediate pressure to continue. The expulsion left the supply chain without its largest documented client. Riders staged a sit-down strike on the road. They blocked the stage start for several hours. Officials negotiated under television cameras. The protest halted the race yet produced no new documents on product origins. Several Festina riders gave statements in custody. They described systematic use of EPO and other substances. Each account stopped short of naming external suppliers. The statements left the procurement route untraced. Richard Virenque maintained his denial through initial hearings. The 2000 Lille trial later forced a public admission. 9 individuals received convictions with suspended sentences. Court files recorded no further arrests beyond the team perimeter. Willy Voet published his account after release. The book listed specific products and quantities. It offered no invoices or external contacts. The text ended without clarifying who authorized the purchases. A 2013 Senate report ordered retroactive testing of stored samples. Results indicated EPO use across multiple teams. The analysis relied on methods unavailable in 1998. Contemporary hematocrit checks had remained the only limit. Without a direct EPO test, the sport could not confirm exposure. Teams operated at the edge of the 50% hematocrit threshold. Riders adjusted doses accordingly. The method left actual concentrations undocumented. Budget records listed only broad medical categories. No line identified individual payments or delivery dates. The entries closed the financial trail at the team level. External funding sources stayed beyond reach. On July 8, 1998, Willy Voet crossed the Belgian-French border with the Festina team car. Police stopped the vehicle and found 234 vials of EPO along with growth hormone and other substances. The contents matched the broad medical categories listed in team budgets. No individual delivery dates appeared in any record. Why did the car carry exactly these quantities on that date? French police raided Festina hotels across the tour route. They seized additional medical supplies and training documents. Riders maintained silence during initial questioning. The searches produced no new names beyond the team. The next hotel ledger offered no further entries. On July 17, the tour organizers expelled Festina from the race. Remaining teams faced immediate pressure to continue. Several riders staged sit-down strikes in protest. The peloton halted briefly before resuming under escort. No official statement addressed the missing medical logs. In police custody, several Festina riders confessed to using EPO. Their statements described dosing schedules adjusted to stay under the 50% hematocrit limit. No urine test existed to confirm the claims. The confessions stopped short of naming external suppliers. Court transcripts leave the funding source unnamed. The 2000 Lille trial brought the case to court. Richard Virenque admitted his involvement during testimony. 9 individuals received suspended sentences and fines. The proceedings relied entirely on the seized vials and rider statements. Budget records remained too general to trace payments further. After the trial, Willy Voet published his book Massacre à la Chaîne. It detailed the team's medical program in explicit terms. The text confirmed the absence of any direct EPO test in 1998. External suppliers stayed outside the documented chain. The final chapter ends without naming the source of the funds. A 2013 French Senate report ordered retroactive testing of stored 1998 samples. The analysis revealed widespread EPO use across the peloton. No new names were added to the original case files. The hematocrit threshold had served as the only available control. The report left the scale of undetected use unquantified. The seized car exposed the gap between documented team expenses and actual product quantities. Riders had adjusted doses to avoid crossing the visible threshold. No test could measure the real concentrations at the time. The financial trail ended at the team level. One question remained open after every official record closed. The 50% hematocrit rule remained the sole barrier for years afterward. Teams continued to operate within its limits. The record shows no further border seizures tied to Festina. The method of supply simply changed. What volume of product crossed into races without ever appearing on any ledger?